you can remove the overlay by going to brand.
One live network.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Rainier Avenue. Oh, go ahead. Radio.world. It's me, Tony B, and we had a power outage at the station today, but we've got it together, and we're making this happen for you. So I'm going to bring on our guests right now, Corey Strozier. How you doing, Corey?
What's up, boss?
All right. And Jamalia Jones.
Hello, it's Jamalia. How are you?
Jamalia,
Yes.
under the circumstances, I'm fantastic. And is it Minda Michelle?
It is. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Well, we're here. Oh,
Yeah.
we had a power outage at the radio station, and so we had to scramble to make sure that we got this broadcast up by 9, and we're on the air. My energy level is still good. How are all of you feeling? You ready for this today?
We're ready.
Okay.
Ready or not.
Now, so for those of you who are tuning in expecting our regular broadcast, once again, we interrupt our regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special report from Best Starts for Kids Summit 2021. We build, we rise, we soar. Excited to talk to y'all. Now, we've been doing this every day at 9 o'clock, and I started doing a big cash prize giveaway. Have you guys, do you know what's going on with that? Have you seen that at all? Okay, well, good.
No.
I'll tell you about what we're doing. And for those of you who've been tuning in, you know what's been happening. We've been giving away a huge, gigantic, ginormous cash prize giveaway. And on Wednesday, we gave it away, but nobody won it. So it rolled over and doubled. On Thursday, we gave it away, and nobody got it. So it rolled over and doubled. And so this is the last day. And so you are the group that has the last chance to win the giant cash jackpot. I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked everyone else. Okay? And we'll see if you can answer the question. Of course, right now you're probably saying to yourself, how much is this huge cash jackpot that doubled on Thursday and doubled again, or doubled on Wednesday and doubled on Thursday? Well, I'm about to tell you, but I want you to sit down because I don't want you to go into shock when you hear about the potential that you can win this amount of money. So on day 1, we started out with a grand total, just to get started. Ready? Brace yourself.
All right.
1 cent. Nobody got the answer, and it doubled. And on Thursday, it was, here, let me get my money, guys. It was 2 cents.
What you say?
Nobody got the answer. And today, the grand total of the big cash jackpot is, our money, guys, 4 cents.
Come on.
So, no one has been able to get the answer. What I'm going to want you to do is finish the sentence. I gave everybody a hint, so I'll give y'all a hint, and there's 3 of you, and maybe between the 3 of you, you can finish the sentence for me. And the hint was old school hip hop. All right.
Okay.
So hopefully we have some old school hip hop fans here, and I want you to finish this sentence. Okay. You'll have about 5 to 7 seconds. Okay. This is the sentence, and I want you to finish it. Stop what you're doing. I'm about to ruin.
Wait, because I know who it is, but I just
come on now.
That's
Stop
Digital Underground, right?
I'm about to ruin.
Digital Underground, does that count?
Well, are we supposed to sing?
we know you know. At least you
I
know.
know.
Then that means
No,
that
'cause
you
I'm
know
about
back
to-
in the day when you heard that,
Hey, that's
stop
the,
what you're doing. I'm about to
About to
ruin.
ruin. I just,
Some of the sound that you're used to.
the image and the style that you
The
use.
image and the sound that you're used to.
That's the Humpty Dance.
The image and the style that you're. Stop it.
The Humpty Dance.
Come
There
on.
Yeah.
you go. Yes. You got that was it. Stop what you're doing. I'm about to
I'm about to
ruin
ruin
the image and the style that you
There
used
you
to.
go.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Come
Hey,
on.
go ahead and deposit that 4 cents to you.
Yeah.
Okay. The King County Youth Source. See how we gonna split that 4
Right,
pennies.
right.
All right. Well, that was just kind of to get things warmed up, and that was in honor of Shock G, who passed away
Yes.
recently from Humpty D, and excuse me, from Digital Underground. And well, nobody got it. You guys kind of got it. You finally figured it out between the three of you. So you will win the grand prize of 4 cents. I'll leave it to you to figure out how you want to split all that money up. I don't know if it's going to split up equally or not. And the thing about it, why I picked that particular phrase is because the King County Best Starts for Kids champions and partners, in particular during a pandemic, that's what we saw from a lot of leadership. Was no, let's not do this the way that we've been doing it.
Mhm.
This is an opportunity to do something different. And there were a lot of bold folks and a lot of bold organizations who basically said that. Stop what you're doing. I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to, because this pandemic has laid bare the fact that, again, and exacerbated some of the things that were in place that have been systemically there and oppressive for a long time. So, and that was it. But for anybody who knows Digital Underground, you know that when you heard those words, you right away knew, okay, it's time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's get started here. I want to find out a little bit about each of you. And, Corey, I'll just start with you since I brought you on first. Tell me a little bit about yourself and YouthSource. Well, let's just start with you. Talk about your background a little bit.
Okay. Well, I'm Corey Strozier. You got my last name right. People be butchering it or trying to make it French, and it's not. It's Strozier, not Strozier, or none of that foolishness. I live down in Pierce County. I'm a Tacoma guy, but I have the honor of serving kids up in King County at YouthSource with Miss Jamalia, Miss Minda, and our amazing team of other individuals that couldn't be on. What else you want to know? I got 2 kids of my own that are trying to survive a pandemic. And I've committed to bettering the future of public education, or whatever that looks like. So
Awesome.
That's me.
All right. And Jamalia, it's Jamalia, right?
Jamalia, yes, that's correct. Thank you.
Jamalia, give us some background information on yourself.
Okay, I am a Seattle native, born and raised, a Franklin High School graduate.
Wait, Franklin?
Yes, that's right. I'm a Franklin High School graduate.
Quaker.
A good
A
old
fellow
Quaker.
Quaker. All
Yes.
right, go Quaker. It's a Quaker state.
Yes. So I love Seattle. I'm a HBCU grad from Morris Brown College. I got to give a shout out to my people. And so got a 25-year-old son that's on his way to medical school. So I got to say that because he was just accepted to UW Medical School.
Congratulations.
In spite of his experiences with the public school system, we'll just say that. But anyway, it takes a village, so I'll say that. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay. And Minda Michelle, give us some background information on yourself.
I am Minda Michelle. I was raised in Seattle, not born. I was public schooled in Seattle. My 18-year-old son was public schooled in Seattle, and I have issue with that. And I think that's probably why I have worked with young people of color since I was a young person of color. I've tried to leave education, and God just won't let me. And so I am here to champion and advocate for our Black and brown kids. Always, always, always.
Well, that is wonderful here, and in particular, we know that this last year has been crazy and totally flipped upside down our educational institutions, and again made some things very clear. I remember when the pandemic first started, March 13th, we went on the air, and I had teachers come on, and at that point, their concern, and it just was what it was. They weren't concerned in a lot of instances in the communities that I live in. They weren't concerned about teaching. They were concerned about how are we going to feed these kids who depend on us for meals. Now, that's just how disrupted the system was that we found out. Then there was the issue of, how are we going to get lesson plans? How are we going to get laptops? There are a lot of things. So I appreciate the work that all of you are doing. And I'll let you get started on this. Let's find out more about YouthSource, who YouthSource is, what YouthSource does. I'll just leave this open for one of you to get started, and if anybody wants to piggyback off of that, specifically with the work that you do, let's make it happen. So tell us about YouthSource.
So I would first like to say that we are a King County program. We are a part of Children, Youth, and Young Adults Division, which is under Department of Community and Human Services. But I like to think of ourselves as like a one-stop shop. So we provide education and employment services to 16 to 24-year-olds. We're located in Tukwila. And so we have always prided ourselves on allowing our young people to dream and to affirm them, and just helping them reach their goals in terms of whatever that may be for high school, for post-secondary, and employment. And so I'll let the others join in, but that's in a nutshell kind of what we do. Y'all want to jump?
Come on, Corey.
Yeah. We strongly believe in meeting young people where they are at YouthSource. Yep. We understand that the traditional high school setting is not going to bring every student to the finish line. It might not be the best fit for every kid. So I'll be honest, when I was serving as a case manager, a lot of our conversations consisted around, I don't care what got you here, right? I'm trying to figure out what's going to get you out of here. Yep. So like everybody has their own situation, but I think I can speak for everybody that says when the student comes into our building, we ain't worried about what got you here. Let's work together on a plan to get you on the right path for your education, and then maybe a career, maybe college, whatever you want to do. Help us help you realize your dreams. So we're definitely working on behalf of young people for sure.
And I think what makes us successful and what makes us unique is that we look like the youth we serve.
Absolutely.
And in a lot of cases, we and the rest of the staff, we come from where the youth we serve come from. I was raised in Southeast Seattle to an immigrant mother and a father who didn't finish college. And so I was, in a lot of ways, the youth that we serve. And so we have the same life experiences that they have. We look like them. We expect them to succeed. And I think that is key. A lot of our youth come from schools or places where they're not expected to succeed.
Right.
So
how did the pandemic impact and affect the work that you do? Corey, I know you said when people come in the building, well, that action stopped. And how were you able to shift, adjust, and change and accommodate again at a very critical time? And I can't blame them, but for a lot of students, it was like, hey, extended spring break. We know again that was a very critical time to continue the learning process. What did you do? What were some of the strategies? And maybe you can even just tell us again from your perspective with the students, what was going on through their minds at this time?
Good question. Well, I would, yeah, sure. We had to adjust very quickly, and we found that a lot of young people were just sort of just trying to figure out what to do next steps. So our staff, one of the things we've always done, even in person, but even stepped it up more so or increased it more so, was we contacted everyone, and we contact them weekly, and we're checking in on them, and we're letting them know we haven't forgotten you. Just because we're in a pandemic, we're still pressing forward. You still got goals, and we're still helping you meet those goals. And so we, even though it's virtual, we reach out to them. But we also did some limited services in person. So there were folks that didn't have technology, and we made sure we got them what they needed, or food. So we made sure we got them what they needed, and we met them in a public space. And so we just wanted to make sure, what is it that you need? We're here for you. And that made all the difference in the world for a lot of our young people, because they were just kind of, out there. And so we just loved them back in a virtual way. And so we've set up a lot of even support groups for our young ladies and our young men, just different ways that we try to build community virtually, so that they stay connected and engaged.
And a huge part of that, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, feel free to jump in.
I'm saying a huge part of that, checking in and loving them back, a lot of times was just talking to the young people. You said it at first, Mr. Tony. You said it was kind of an extended spring break. So at first we lost kids. They were kicking it, staying at home, playing video games and all that. But that got old after a few months. So I think around, May, June, around the summertime last year, they started to want to come back. And they were depressed, they were anxious, because they were not able to come physically and see other folks. And so we started to get our kids back last summer, our young people back last summer. And a lot of what we had to do was the talking it out. Yeah. Our young people need to be heard, right? They want to be heard. They have things to say. And sometimes it's just the conversation, right, Corey? Just, what are we doing? And then a lot of times for me, it was, listen, I feel the way you feel. We've not done this before. So we're trying to do this pandemic together. You need to wear your mask.
Right. We're figuring it out.
Some of it was fussing, but a lot of it was just talking to our young people. Reaching out.
I'll throw out there too, folks got to realize, if you are unable to change and adjust, you're not going to be able to be successful. And YouthSource has allowed us in the business of working with young people to be innovative, to be creative, to be fluid, nothing set in stone. Do what you got to do to ensure that the kids, the young people can be successful. Ms. Minda was in there checking out laptops, where we get laptops from. All of a sudden, not everybody got laptops. We're able to, certain programs that we run can't operate if we don't have the kids face to face. Okay, well, what does it look like to get learning management systems so that program can be in place? We were just doing in order to make sure that our kids don't fall off. So the ones that did disappear found their way back because they continued on and working on their stuff. So.
And there was a lot of, Jamalia touched on a lot of meeting the young people in public spaces. I did so many meetings in parks and King County, and we made sure we had sanitary wipes. We had, the white antibacterial wipes, masks, gloves. So we were bringing PPE to our kids with us when we were meeting with the young people. I did a lot of meetings in parks and even parking lots.
I think the other thing too, we realized some of our young folks needed to earn some income. And one of the things we try to do is be creative in terms of allowing them to create entrepreneurship opportunities where they can do things virtually, earn some income. And so we did a lot of that as well, because they were learning a skill. They were also earning income, and they also were doing the education component that they needed to do virtually too. So we did a lot of adapting and adjusting, and continue to do so. And now we can never go back to the way we were either. So
stop what you're doing. I'm about to go.
That's right.
In the style that you're used to. You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio World. It's me, Tony B. My guest, Corey Strozier, Minda Michelle, and Jamalia Jones, all from YouthSource. Best starts for kids, champions. I hope on Rainier Avenue Radio, we have open, honest, frank conversation because that's what we need to have as a representative of our community and our neighborhood. And y'all brought something up that I'm going to use one of those $25 words for, which is shared identity. And working with the group of students, and I heard you say this before, I would like you to explain, I get it, the difference it makes when you speak the same language, when you understand the societal impact of what it means, when you know what the particular struggles are, when you have an understanding that in some instances, if a youth hasn't eaten, if a youth hasn't had, if the lights aren't on, if the water's not on, how can you expect this student to learn? And so that shared identity, and I would like you to go into further in the impact and just again to share the importance of the work that you do and why if it makes a difference. I could be wrong here and just tell me I'm wrong. Why that makes a difference and why that's so critical in the work that you do.
Well, I will start by saying at YouthSource, our young people are over 80% youth of color. And so our staff is, 70-something% staff of color, but it's important for us to be able to connect and engage every single young person because we understand that in order for them to look beyond their current situation or environment or what have you and aspire to something else, they need to see people that look like them, that have similar lived experiences, that they can talk about these different racist systems that they have to engage in on a day-to-day basis. So it is important for us to be able to connect with them so that we can, that they can see beyond, man, who looks like me that is an engineer, et cetera. And so we're always striving to push them beyond what they, initially think they could do, but to dream beyond that. I don't know if I answered your question, but I wanted to say that, but I'll let the other two. It's important.
It is.
Yeah. And I'll just add, I just want to add one more thing, because for me, as an alum of a HBCU, I've always understood the importance. It wasn't until I left Seattle and I went to a historically Black college that I understood the importance of a positive identity. That's when I begin to love my own Blackness. And I know that's important for our young people, and not just, Black folks, brown, et cetera, but it's important. We don't have that enough, that they can, have enough role models. And so anyway, I just wanted to share that, but go ahead, Corey, I'm sorry.
So, you know what it is, Tony, like you mentioned kids coming in hungry. And I thought about not necessarily an analogy, but to a different perspective to look at this from. We all have those one coworkers that come in 15, 20 minutes after their shift's supposed to start, eating their food. And it's because they realize that I can't be productive in my workplace if I'm hungry. So if we have those people put themselves in the shoes of young people, how can we expect, Ms. Minda said, we expect them to be successful. So how can we expect a young person to be successful if they coming in on an empty stomach, they coming in after staying up all night taking care of their brothers and sisters, even though it ain't their job, or working an overnight shift to help pay the bills, even though that ain't their job. We can't expect that. So this is what it is, Tony. We have a culturally responsive delivery model.
Totally.
Where we take care of our kids holistically. Okay, you come in, you need something to eat, you know exactly where to go to get you something to eat every day of the week. So that cannot be a barrier between you and your success. If you're hungry, come here and eat, and let's take care of business.
And Tony, we take care of our kids, our young people so well that sometimes they self-sabotage. We love on them so well. We expect excellence. We walk this journey with them so well that sometimes they self-sabotage. They are afraid of their own success. They know that we are unique in the way that we support them, and the world's not going to support them like we do at YouthSource. And so sometimes they sabotage. We got kids we trying to push out the door. Listen, you got one test left. Let's do this. Let's go. Because we recognize, and we let them know that once you get your GED or your high school diploma, that's the starting. We've gotten you to the starting line.
Right.
Now let's move forward. Our job is to get you to the starting line. And sometimes they're afraid because they recognize how well we support them. And a lot of that support, like Corey said, we make sure they're fed and they become entitled. Yes, they do. Every time they come in, can I get a gift certificate? Can I go to the snack room? Will you give me a ride home? No, sir. No, sir. Go on in the classroom, do what you're supposed to do. So they get so familiar, right? They're so familiar with us and so comfortable because we speak life over our kids. That's what we do. And we do it.
We love on them.
We love on them. But we also practice tough love. We know how to do the tough love with them. But see, because we all look like them, they receive it. Right? When I was working in a public school, I couldn't talk to I call them my mainstream kids, right? The Caucasian students, the same way I talk to the students of color. And everybody in that building knew Miss Michelle. Everybody. But I knew that I could only talk to certain kids certain ways, right? And be received. So we do that because we look like them.
Stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the style and the image that you used to.
Listen, we're not for everybody, but we are for a lot of these kids. Let me say this: I wrote it on the board in one of the classrooms. I love to tell the students, we are not here to enable you.
Yeah.
We are here to empower you and to encourage you. So me giving you gift cards every time you come in here, you cleaning out the snack closet every time you come in here, that can be enabling. So like Corey said, help me help you. Right. And so we get to have those conversations with them. And it's amazing the way our kids open up. We have had young people who are justice involved. I have had probation counselors say, this kid is all these bad things, right? Just insert all the negative words. And this kid doesn't like women, this kid, whatever. And I will talk to the student, the young person, one-on-one. And they will open up. Wow. Or I will talk to them. They won't say much. They'll leave with my business card because I'll take a picture of my card and text it. They'll leave and then they'll text, Miss Minda, nobody's ever talked to me like that. I want to come to YouthSource. It's because we talk to them the way we talk to our own kids because we were them.
I'm almost out of time.
They flourish at YouthSource.
They do.
This has just been
you can have us back.
And a great way, to wrap this entire thing up. I do want to give you, and I'm going to have to make it real quick, final words for each of you, and then maybe something that you've enjoyed over the 18 sessions, 6 of them which were youth-led during this time, or if there's something that you're interested in coming up. But again, I just want to thank you for the work that you do. We know that not only was this impacting in the educational process, but you said they wanted to come back because we know that mental health was also impacted through this process. And one of the things of the pandemic, and one of the things that came out was some kids did not want to go back to school because the weight of dealing with that systemic oppression and not having to be physically in the school was better for them because they didn't even know what they were dealing with. It became such a part of their lives. So thank you for doing this. I love the opportunity to share the work that y'all have done and that you are doing and the important place that you have in our community. I'm going to have to make this real quick, but final words and something that you were looking forward to during the sessions. Corey, I'll start with you.
My final words is to be a shout out to our other teammates, Nigel, Ted, Tez, Stephanie, and Aden. We're just 3 of the team, but everybody's doing amazing work to serve young people. So I just want to shout them out. And I really enjoyed the BIPOC self-care session. I think we did.
All right, Jamalia.
I want to give a shout out because we have several sites across King County. So we're just one site. We do have one in Shoreline and one in Seattle. But anyway, I will say the session that I enjoyed the morning session with the public health folks and the young man the entrepreneur, I can't think of his name. That was awesome. So I really enjoyed him as well. So.
And for me.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. For me, anything youth-led. We are about youth focus and youth-led. We want to hear youth voices. So anything that's happened that's been youth-led, and I'm in there with them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jess and Jen are coming up, and they're going to give you an overview of what's going to go on today. Maybe talk about what's happened in the past. And by the way, I got the official word from King County, and it says, just to be clear, King County employees have to share the 4 cents with the entire department. So,
Wow.
We ain't gonna be able to make that one happen.
Right.
Fortunately, the huge jackpot doubled and doubled again, so there's a little bit more to go around. And I really had fun with this. And thank y'all for finally getting the answer. It was kind of fun that nobody couldn't get the answer, because my thing was, if you hear this, something's gonna ring a bell for those who are familiar with those words, and it was fun to play that game. I had a great time. Thanks,
Thank you.
Kids. Thank you for allowing Rainier Avenue Radio to be part of this once again. Enjoy yourself. Thank you for the work that you do. Let's stay connected. And if you ever feel like there's an issue or a concern that you need, always know that you have a home on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
That's it. That's all the time that I have. Go check out Jess and Jen. This is Tony B for Rainier Avenue Radio saying, remember, whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you are probably right. I'm out. Peace.